How's everyone today? Johnny Vivento here. What a great day. It's an amazing day today, man. It's so hot. It's got to be, I would say, it's got to be 100 out here. Feels like about 120. I am baking, but I'm okay. I've been in the air conditioning, and sometimes you need a little bit of heat. But I'm keeping out the sun, man. My face is keeping out the sun. I've had a few problems in that department, so I thought I'd come out the sun for a few weeks, and that's what I have done. Haven't seen many of the anti-Sarasota Tim people out. What a victory, yeah? And you know, people cannot get over the fact that this guy won, and he said he would win, and he did. He won. And they just can't get over this fact. You know, they really can't. They're like stumbling. All of them are stumbling. You know, I saw Sarasota Tim today, you know, with his new camper. Definitely a capitalist. It's not cheap to park a trailer anywhere these days, especially in Florida. There's no doubt about it. And, you know, I saw today he was talking about it's cheaper than having an apartment. I don't think it is. You know, I don't think it is. I think he pays probably $1,000 for his lot rent, I would guess. I would guess he does, at least. And then you've got other things to consider, you know, like, but anyway, that's his life. He enjoys it. And it's a beautiful place where he lives. You can't beat it. I mean, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous place. Everyone's kind of jealous, you know, everyone's trying to get on his back. I can see him going through the Walmart self-check-in place. People say, you know, I think he forgot he didn't pay for this. But I can just see that because everyone's against the guy. He's got their claws in, especially this idiot Life and Vibe, who I just can't stand, a complete wacko. But anyway, Tim, you did it, buddy. You beat them. You beat the establishment. They're all trying to get this guy. And, you know, his show, I tell you something, man, his you know, last night he did the evening chat, the morning chat. They're all good. You know, he gives you a lot of knowledge. Sarasota Tim gives you a lot of knowledge, man. He does. Tells you about trailers. You know, personally, I don't have a trailer. I've never wanted one, but really, I'm thinking about, you know, you think, wow, maybe I could do that, what he's doing, you know. Is it that easy? He kind of makes things kind of easy. He does. He makes things look easy. You know, he really does. You know, he has his e-bike, which I think a lot of people bought an e-bike since he came on and did the demo. And it's a nice little touch. You know, you have that little e-bike just so you can ride without having to pedal, especially at our ages, man. But I ride my push bike. I'm happy with that. But excuse me, in Mexico where I live, the roads are bad. So would I like an electric bike? Yeah, I guess I would. But what good is that? I have a motorcycle. I'd rather have that. I'd rather use a motorcycle. An e-bike's good if you don't have a motorcycle license and you don't want to wear a helmet. Okay, basically that's what it is. You know, in Colorado, I don't need a helmet. You can ride around all day without a helmet on. You know how dangerous that is? I really forbid anybody to go out without a helmet. Because it's just crazy. You're taking your life in your own hands. One small accident and you're done. Okay? With a helmet, you have some protection there, you know? And, well, anyway, excuse me. Anyway, Tim, you did well. You know, and I enjoyed the show today. You can see that there's something in his face to say, I did it. I knew I would do it, and I did it. And he did mention it on his show in the morning chat. And I'm happy for him. You know, he had a great cup of coffee. You know, he was drinking a great cup of coffee, I'm sure. And he was very happy to have won, you know. To the victor comes the spoils. That's how it is. But anyway, they're all still going to come out for him. You can just tell they are. They're all going to come out and try and beat him up again. But, you know, he's living a nice life. He has a nice trailer. They're just jealous, you know. They're just jealous because somebody did something like that. He doesn't really work. He makes the videos. That's work, I guess. But he doesn't have to answer to anybody. And most of these people do. You know, so most of these people have jobs, I'm sure. You know, people like New York Dan, I'm sure he has a job. He probably works 40 hours a week and he has to work another 40 hours on the videos. So he always looks very tired. So does Blind Views. He's like an old rock star, but he probably was a rock star. He probably was famous. We just don't recognize him. Probably. I don't know. But they've all got something to say, and Tim is their man. And I'm on the other side, and I've had a lot of good comments recently, people on Tim's side, and that's been great. Anyway, talking about Puerto Vallarta. So I'm here. I'm really keeping a very low profile these days. I even go salsa dancing twice a week. I'm useless at it, but I'm trying, man. I'm trying to learn alone to get the steps right, and it's not easy. To be honest with you, it really isn't easy. And but I've been enjoying that. And when I go with my wife, there's two of us, and we pay $1,000 a month, which is about $60 a month for both of us to go twice a week, and it's worth it. It really is. It's a nice touch. You can learn that. I'm not really learning it. I don't know why. I'm just not getting into it. I just can't do it. I mean, basically, I gotta start losing weight. I've been on this fast now for like 12 hours, and I'm gonna do another 30. I'm doing a 48-hour fast. I'm in the middle of it right now to try and lose some pounds on the midsection. Everywhere else is fine. It's just the midsection. When you get to our age, it's difficult. Anyway, so I hope I've given somebody some incentive to come to Mexico, because this is what you're missing out. If you're a retired guy and you're getting the regular Social Security, or girl, you can come here and do this. I'm telling you, it's no brain surgery. Anybody can do it. A piece of paper, you're allowed to be in that country. It's all bullshit, man. If you have a passport, they give you your 6 months at the airport, and you can come and live you can go and live anywhere. You can actually go to the UK and live for 3 months in the UK. Here it's 6 months. But you can actually go to the UK for 3 months, or anywhere in Europe for 3 months, and you can actually renew it as well. Because the EU have this thing now that you can renew. You can actually go to an embassy and say, I want to stay another month or two, and they will honor it. It's going to cost a little money, though. It might cost $100, but it's worth it, right? If you want to go to Europe. But here, you come in, you don't do that, because here they're trying to get your money, basically. You're going to be here. You're not going to not spend any money. You're going to spend money in Mexico. Mexicans know that, but they just don't want the place flooded. That's why they're bringing all these legislations in now, where now it's the stipulation, the tariff to live here is absolutely outrageous right now. It's actually going as far as $4,400 per person over the last 2 years. That's what you have to have made in a salary or whatever. Or you can buy a property for like 350,000 US dollars. That will get you a visa, like a temporary residency, or a permanent residency, which I have. So, it's like that's the stipulation now. I probably could never have afforded it if I had come these days, But anyway, you don't need it. I know people down the road who don't even have that, as I've been telling you, and I think in every video I've made. But anyway, I got to show you this. You see, that's my old Volkswagen Beetle. You see the white one? I don't know whether you have that in the shop. That's my old Volkswagen Beetle that my stepson owns now. I gave it to him. Well, let's say we gave it to him, myself and the wife, because, he graduated college and he did all kinds of good stuff and has a job and works in a production going on here in Puerto Vallarta. And we gave it to him, and it's I was happy to do it. Actually cost me a lot of money in the end. I've been watching these old card shows because I deal in memorabilia. I used to have a big baseball card collection, boxing card, hockey, basketball, football, and I sold it. But I'm still watching the transactions, and people who have card collections, man, you lose money in the end. In the end, you do, because you get old and you want to sell it because you want to give the money to your kids. They don't want to keep the card thing up, and you sell and you lose money. Well, on that car, I lost a lot of money, put it that way, because I bought it. It looked incredible when I bought it. And it had these amazing wheels, like Wolf Race wheels, and it looked incredible. It really did. And it was a Volkswagen Beetle from 1999. It was one of the last ones, well, actually the last 5 years of production. But it was a special. It was like a special edition. And I thought it looked great. and I bought it, and it was immaculate. You know, it's not so immaculate now. You know, 4 years later, things deteriorate if you don't keep them up. Um, he had My stepson had the car repainted white, the original color. I mean, it looks pretty good. It looks okay. I drove it yesterday. Has the white wall tires on it and everything. And he changed the wheels. He took the wall face off. We put the original ones on with the hubcaps and the white wall tires, and he's kept it up. That's what he wanted. You know, he's kept it up, so it looks pretty original right now. But I've lost a lot of money on the car because I spent a lot on getting the engine fixed. I had the whole engine overhauled. All the electrics have been redone, and I had to put new axles on it because it had wolf race wheels, and they're much larger, and we had to put the axles in a different angle, kind of almost. And everything's good now. Everything's great on the car, and it runs good. And I'm happy I gave it to him, but I lost money on it, as people lose on their baseball card collections. And so you have to go, okay. But anyway, that's all I got to say. And I just had to come out here because I enjoyed coming here talking to you. I hope you like my conversations. If there's any questions you have about moving here, please let me know. And I promise I will return the comments. Okay, that's all I can say. If you can subscribe, press the like button, I'd really appreciate it. I really would. And bye for now. Take care. Love all of you.